today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this pencil pouch for school. It will have 7 little slots for your pencils, but you can make it bigger if you want. So yeah, let's just get started with what you need. Okay, so what you will need is 2 colors of duct tape. I'm using a duckling for my color, neon green, but you can obviously just use a big roll. So I'm just going to be using it for smaller strips to save tape. I'm using sunset stripe and neon green. You will also need scissors and an X-Acto knife. You can just use an X-Acto knife if you want, but I like to use scissors as well. A ruler is optional, but I would recommend one if you have one, just to get straighter cuts and to help us measure out the slits for the pencil pouch. Clear tape is optional, and if you use a clear tape, just a credit card. Okay guys, so for the first step, you're going to take your pattern color and you're going to figure out how many slits you're going to want for your pencil rolly thing. I made mine about, I would say, 8 inches or so. Around 9-10 inches. But you can make it however big you want to have how many slits you want. And you're gonna want to make how many edges. Well, I actually made my 14 inches, so you can see that I'm gonna have about 10 slits, and you're going to want to layer it to be 8 or 7 inches tall. So once you do that, it's just gonna be, you want it to be taller than a pencil and then add like 1/4 of an inch. So a pencil is about, I would say, about 7.5 is what I made mine, how tall mine is. It's about 5.5, so just add 2 more inches and then you will get your final measurement. So just make it 7.5 inches tall, and this is for any amount of pencils. So just cut it, so just make a sheet of your pattern duct tape to be 7.5 inches tall. Okay, so now this is a time lapse of me making the sheet that is 14 inches by 7.5. Okay, and once you have your duct tape sheet, just flip it over, and now we're going to take our inside color. In this case, mine is green. So you're just going to want to cover the sticky and don't leave any excess on the outside. If you do, it's alright. And try to cover as much of the sticky as possible. There's going to be a time lapse after the first couple of strips. It won't be that long, it'll just be music and stuff. So, yeah. And now just cut off the sticky. Okay, so now we have our duct tape sheet that is 1 pattern and 1 color with 14 inches by 7.5. Now you're gonna need a pencil for this, just for measurements, and your ruler, and you're just going to measure each 1/2 inch. So you're going to start at the 1/2 inch mark and then cut from the 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and then go to the 1.5 inch and cut to 2, and then go to the 2.5 mark and go to the 3, and then go on so forth until you have done a whole ruler measurement, because you want the rest of the sheet to be for rolling it up. So you are going to want to repeat this process twice. So what you're going to do is you're going to measure down 1/2 of an inch down, And you're going to repeat the same process. You're just going to be cutting a 1/2 inch pieces, and you're just going to poke your pencil into these holes. So just take your ruler, measure down 1/2 inch from the original marks, and then hold your X-Acto knife there and just cut at the same places you cut before. Okay, so now this is just a time lapse of me cutting all the slits at the top. Alright, so now that we have the first slits cut, you're going to want to cut slits around the bottom of the pencil, but not all the way at the bottom. And just do the same process as the top, but just near the bottom. So now this clip is just showing me cutting the bottom slits and just doing the same process as the top, and then I slide in my pencils just to make sure that they all fit, and they should fit, and if they don't, you can just recut the slits. It's really just easy and it shouldn't mess it up, but it's really easy, and you can see the bottom lip where I cut it. It's not all the way at the bottom, but it's near the bottom, so like near the middle. Now I'm just sticking all the pencils in. Alright, so now my pencil holder has all my pencils in it, and now you're just going to want to roll it up to figure out where the strap needs to go. So each time there's a new pencil, just let it dip in to the creases of the pencil. And so this will just help us measure where the flap should go to keep it closed. Alright, so this part is mainly self-explanatory, so I'm not going to use voiceover for this. I'm just going to take my duckling. Like I said, you can just use a regular roll of tape and make your strap that way, but this way I think it just saves tape from the roll, and it's just a little bit more, I don't know, I'd say cute. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to make a strap that is 5 inches long. Then you're going to make it so it's 1 1/4 inches tall. So once you just place this on, just smooth it out. And by the way, I hope you guys like this new angle. I'm going to be using this for all of my tutorials and stuff like that. So yeah. You can clear tape this if you want, but I'm not going to. So then you're just going to flip it over so the sticky side is facing up. And you're just going to take your tape again and just cover the back. So this is really easy. And you just cut it so it's the same size. Just put this down, and this is actually the second one that I made, and this one's gonna be mine. The first one was just kind of like a test out one. So once you have that, sorry I have the hiccups. Once you have that, you're just going to cut off all the excess. You shouldn't have too much because you basically just layered it on top of each other. But once you have all of that cut off, you should be good to go. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of my tape again, and you don't have to measure this part. All you're going to do is just cut a tiny piece that, well, you actually do have to measure this part. You need it to be 1 1/4 inches long, or however thick you make your little piece. And you're just going to pick this up and place it onto the back, half and half on each side. So it looks like this on both sides. Then you're just going to take your little pencil pouch thing, pencil holder, and then just roll it up so each time there's a new pencil that it goes dipping into it. So just keep rolling, rolling, rolling until you get to the flap. And once you get to the flap, you can just fold it up and make it look nice. And then just take your flap and try to center it as much as possible. And then just wrap it around and see if it will end up on your flap as before. But if it doesn't, it's 100% fine. Then you're going to want to take your Velcro. Right, so once you get your Velcro, just gonna get this out real quick. And I have the thin ones, and I just started using these today, and it's like, they're like so thin. It's like so strange, but I like them. They're really strong and stuff, so yeah. Then you're just going to take your flap and place it on near the end, but not straight on the end, and then fold it as tightly as possible and just stick it on. Hey guys, so thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and just so you know, this tutorial was suggested by mustbeperfect_123 on Instagram. She's really nice, and I am really grateful that she asked for this tutorial. I didn't even think about making one. I didn't think that you guys would like it, but it seemed that a lot of you did. So I got this design from Hey Jamie on YouTube here, or girl.com. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys on Craft Update Saturday. Bye!